talk about the top 5 data cleaning functions in Pandas. My name is Abdulkadir Salami. Welcome to our Data Analyst video series. So first, this is the interface. I need to import my Pandas. So import Pandas as PD. Let's execute it. So right now I need to import my CSV file. So df is equals to pd dot read underscore CSV, open brackets, then uber dot CSV. Then, so now what this does is that I'm importing my file. At the same time, I'm saving it into a variable called df, which is data frame, so I can access it and open it with the data frame, which is my variable. So now let's execute it. So that's it. Now to access it, I have to open my variable. So the beautiful things about this is I've already stored it into my variable, so it gives me the access to open it through my variable. So all I have to do now is to type my df, then let's execute it. So this is it. So now these are the files in Uber. So Uber comprises of all these details. Now, these details are what we are going to dissect on. Now, exploring data is about getting in touch with some of the cool functions we can use to checkmate our files, to make our job very easy, to dissect some of the column. So it's more of using some cool function to access our file. So we are going to explore this data with different functions. So now we are going to start with head. Now the head function, what it does is that it shows the top row of the table. Now let's get to it. So now we have df.head. Now remember, in all we have 1,156 rows and we have 7 columns. Now what this head does is it shows us the top. It shows us the top of the table, the top 5 or the top 6, so we can have access to it and check whatever I want to check. So now let's execute it. That's it. So let's take a look at it. So this is it. This is the top 5. So now it gives you room to checkmate 1 or 2 files from the top. So that's it. So now we have what we call the tail. What the tail does is the opposite. So it shows you the bottom 5 of the table. So now let's do that. df.tail. Okay, so this is it. Let's scroll down. As you can see, so this is the top, this is the bottom 5 of the table. So that's the difference between head and tail. Head shows you the top 5, tail shows you the bottom 5. So this gives you room to checkmate 1 or 2 things you want to do, or some files you feel like, okay, they are in the bottom and you don't want to keep scrolling up and down. So use your head or your tail. Please kindly subscribe, like, and share for more of our videos. Thank you. Now let's move to the next one. We have describe. What describe does, it shows you the summary statistic. And what do I mean by statistic? It shows you your mean, your minimum, your maximum, your STD, some property about the file. So now let's get to it. We have df.describe. Okay. Now let's execute it. So this is it. So now we have our count, which is the number of the count of the journey. We have our mean, which is 21 points. We have our STD, we have our minimum, we have our 25%, and we have our maximum. So these are the statistics of this file. So that's what describe does. It shows you the statistic, the summary statistic of the file. So now let's move to the next one. We have what we call info. What info does, it shows you the data frame of the file. So now to do that, we use df.info. So let's execute it. So info shows you the data frame. It's more like your data type. Shows you the float, the object, the null. So it gives you like a full property of the files. So the kind of data frame it carries, it shows you all you need to know about the data frame. So that's what info does. Now let's move to the next one. Let's talk about how to access unique value in a column. Now, to access unique value in a column, let's move to the top. Right now, I have category, I have end dates, I have start date. So now let's talk about category. I want to access the unique value of this column. Now to do that, let me scroll down. So now let's do that. So we type our df, okay, and then the name of the column, okay, and then we give it unique, and that's it. So now let's open it. So as you can see, the unique value of that column, they are just two, business and personal. But business have been used thousands of times, while personal too have been used like 77 times and so on. But the unique value is just two, which is business and personal. So what this does, it helps you to know the number of your unique value. It helps you to know the unique value of that column. So that's how this works. Now let's talk about assessing the number of unique value in a column. Now to do that, what we have to do is to change hard n into this. That's it. Number of unique value. The unique. Now let's execute it. So we have two. We have the business and the personal. So we just have two. So this is how to assess the number of unique value in a column. So now let's talk about data cleaning. Now to clean up our data, the first thing we need to do is to search for missing value. Please kindly subscribe, like, and share for more of our videos. Thank you. Now to search for missing value, we use data dot is null. So let's execute it. So that's it. So what this does, it shows us a table, and then in this table we have false and we have true. In this table we have false and we have true. So false means there is no missing value. That's what false means. But when it shows true, it means there is missing value. And we can see right here that we have true, so which means these are missing values. These are missing values too. So we have quite some missing values here. So you need to note that when it shows false, it means there is no missing value in those columns. But when it shows true, it means there are missing value. So now, what do we do with this missing value? So, but first, before we get there, let's scroll up. You can see from our table that truly there are missing value, because right here we have none, we have none. So all these are columns with no information, which means their value are missing, their value are not available. So which means the code we just type is right. So that's why we have it here as true. So these are the missing value. So now what do we do? Now we have two options. We can drop the missing value by deleting them, or we can replace them with values. To wipe them off, we can use our data dot drop. Okay, so this is the code. So what this does is it removes all the missing value column. It removes them away. So let's just execute it. So that is it. Now you can see that the missing value are no longer there. Now let's talk about how to do data selection. How to do data selection. Now to do data selection, what it means is selecting some columns, not all columns. Maybe you want to work on one of the columns, or you just want to have access to few columns, not all. So how do we do that? So now what we need to do now, okay, is to go back. Let's type our data is already here, and let's give it, okay, and now let's pick which of the column do you want to focus on, like which columns do you really want to work on. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 columns here. So the essence of selecting a single column, it means you just need one of the column to access and to work on. So let me use purpose. So I have to copy this and bring it here. So this is the column I want to work on, but remember to open the single quotes and then close it here, and that's it. So now let's execute it. So what this does, it gives me just that column. So these are the information in that column. So these are the information in the single column. So this says how to select a single column. Okay, let's assume you need a multiple column. So for multiple column, what we need to do is to give it a comma, and then let's select category as the second column. Let's copy it, and let's come over here. Let's open a single column. Let's paste it, and let's close a single column. Okay, and then here let's open the bracket and let's close it twice. Okay, that's it. So let's execute it. So that's it. So we have 2 columns. Okay, so this is how to do data selection and to filter your data. So we have 2 columns. So it means you can interchange between columns. I need 1 column. I've done that. Now this is the 2 columns, how to bring them out. So that's it. So that's it for that. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Thank you. That's it. Please kindly subscribe, like, and share for more videos. Thank you.